Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well. Just for clicking on the video. So I've got to go down the town hall to talk about my behaviour and about all of the terrible lies that have been said about me by certain people that are very invested in my downfall. I know I'm not very much liked by these people, and I feel sorry that their lives are so miserable that they have to invest so much time into my downfall, making up such ridiculous lies. But anyway, do you fancy coming along? Come on then. Yeah, I can't help it if I'm like some kind of god and that they have to sort of persecute me like Jesus. You know what I mean? It's not my fault that I shine so bright. Yeah, I'm going to light them up like the fucking 4th of July. Here we are. The Freemasonic Lodge. Never even knew Inel even had got a fucking library. Oh wow, look at these beautiful Minton tiles. They're lovely.
Yeah, but we also give them the option to come in and talk.
Hi. Yeah, I've got to see, like...
Me, probably. Cameron Scott. Christina.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Just have a wee seat. I'm just waiting on a couple of colleagues coming on. Just if you want to sit, grab some fresh air outside. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You alright? Good. Good. The room that's we're going to have a chat and it's getting used at the minute as well, so we'll just wait till that kind of vacates. Is that alright? Yeah. Enjoying the weather?
Let's cut this just to the chase, please.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Just waiting the colleagues around in the room for you.
Yeah, I don't particularly want to be your friend, and I'm sure you don't particularly want to be my friend.
Okay. Yeah, if that's your rules, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I would say thanks for coming. It's just
Excuse me, why are you carrying on? Are you making it even worse?
Just say thanks for coming.
Be professional, please.
Right, Christina, thanks for coming. I know that you're going to record this meeting. I don't have any issues with that whatsoever. My name's Cameron Scott. I'm an Antisocial Behaviour Officer for Scottish Borders Council.
Shona Furness, also Antisocial Behaviour Officer.
And Graham Patterson, Antisocial Behaviour Officer for SBHA.
I've already said it, and you can have a go at me for being polite, but thanks very much for coming to the meeting. I appreciate it.
There's no need to thank me.
No.
This whole situation seems to be...
That's fine. So my job, Christina, is...
And I actually saw Graham like a week or so ago. He came and visited me at my house.
It's probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago, actually.
Yeah. And we discussed the situation then.
Good. My job, from a council perspective, is to deal with the impact of antisocial behaviour in the community.
Yeah.
I work very closely in partnership with police, Scots Border Housing Associations, NHS and other partner agencies, and information from these agencies are fed into me as an antisocial behaviour officer when there are reports of assessed antisocial behaviour, and then it sits with my team to try and address it. Now there's a number of reasons to try and address it. Is A, for it to stop, if that makes sense, and if we stop it, it stops antisocial behaviour potentially escalating to police charges and police processes, if that makes sense.
I understand this is like a civil matter, so there's no court of law involved in it.
Not at this time.
Just basically you're siding with the community and the hysteria that's been going around regarding myself. where there's a group of individuals that have been sharpening their knives to stick it into my back, and they've
Right.
used this incident where the school had an opportunity to teach the children about acceptance of different people's lifestyles, but decided to teach hatred instead, which I find very sad.
Okay, that
Because it's basically created a situation now where everybody in the village hates me.
right.
I'm getting children coming up to my house, egging my windows, wearing masks, filming themselves, banging on my door, running off.
Yeah.
I've had my motorbike kicked over.
Yeah.
Last night I had people standing outside of my house calling me a beast,
Right.
saying that I'm interfering with children.
Right.
I've got no interest whatsoever in the primary school.
Yeah.
I've been flying my paraglider for 3 years. This is the third summer I've been flying, and I've been landing in the football pitch
Yeah.
without any incident. I'm a very experienced pilot. I've been flying for 27 years.
Yes.
I gained my club pilot way back in the early 2000s with the British Hang Gliding and Paragliding Association.
Mhm.
So it's not as if I've just bought something off eBay and I've thrown myself off Rocky. You know, I had an incident where I broke my leg last year, which was a regrettable situation, but it was just the fact that I landed into the scree and bashed my knee
Right.
cap. But
And it's certainly not my position that you're an inexperienced pilot or anything of that nature, because I'm not versed in
yeah,
scenarios like
I was
that.
flying this morning.
So, as I said, there's kind of three aspects: to address the behaviour or the alleged behaviour as it's reported to me, to make an attempt to stop it escalating.
Well, I like that you
And-
said the alleged
and-
behaviour.
Yeah, absolutely. And as important as that is to see if I can support you in any way whatsoever.
Yeah.
And if you're coming to this meeting and I want to talk to you about your behaviour, and it's documented to
Okay,
you,
so
will,
let's get
you
into
will,
it then.
you will get a copy of this.
What
but it's
people
as
have been
much
saying.
about how can I, as a council employee, support you. And if you're going to sit here and tell me about, you know, threatening and aggressive behaviour towards you and at your property, I'm absolutely prepared to listen to that.
Yeah, I was put onto a particular Facebook page, which is the most popular page in the Scottish borders regarding people that are child abusers and people that are abusers. Basically, for some photos that I'd taken myself on Facebook, and were like on the sexualised side of things, but there weren't anything that were exposing any of my genitals or anything, which people
Yeah.
have basically insinuated that you have.
Yeah.
And the fact that I'm kind of high profile, it's got to the point where a lot of like the young children and stuff are kind of like interested and curious about me.
Yeah.
And I mean, there was an incident last year. I landed in the school, and about 30 school children came over to me when I landed, and I was packing away, and they wanted to see my glider and would talk to me about flying. And 2 teachers came out as well, and they were asking me about base jumping and like flying and stuff, and I was so happy to talk to them about it and everything. But I still got my camera rolling because I film every time I fly off Rocky, just for my own sort of documentation.
So you fly off what's Rocky? What?
It's just the local hill.
Is that what it's called?
There. Yeah, and some of the school children were in the video at the end that I put onto my YouTube channel, and I got a few messages saying like, "Can you take the video off because the children are on there?" Which I did, but then I had People's Police came around and they sort of said to me, when you're on the football pitch and stuff, don't film any of the kids and put it onto social media.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know, there's no way I wanted to cause any issues like with that. But a few months ago, I landed in the football pitch, and it was, I think the school was emptying at the time. I never actually fly over the school. I always fly to the side of it and come round over to the back and land on the pitch because it's easier for me to pack away and get home. And 2 teachers came over and they said, some of the parents don't like you flying near the school. Can you not fly when the school's on? And that takes like a huge chunk of the week. And it's a very tricky place to fly at Rocky because it's a convergence of different valleys. So you get the air, it's very turbulent and like spins around and stuff. So
take your word for
it has to be a very specific wind condition.
Yeah, that
And
kind of
like
makes sense.
today it's coming from the southwest, which is perfect for the hill.
Yeah.
And I kind of like took it on board. I said, okay then. I mean, when I land in the cow fields, I've spoken to the farmer's son, and he's given me full permission to like land in those fields. But it's kind of like cow pats and thistles and stuff like that. So it's nicer just to back away in that football pitch because the grass is like a bowling green. It's lovely. Yeah, and I thought to myself, okay, if the school have got a problem with it, I won't land on the school again. And a couple of weeks passed, and I was on Rocky, and I'd come too far over to the hill fort, and I entered into what's known as a wind shear, when the air starts to push the glider down, and I made the safe decision to land on the football pitch, but unfortunately it was like lunchtime, and this little toddler came over with his nan to begin with, and he was like really interested in looking at the glider, and I showed him, and then this school teacher just came walking over, and I could just tell by the way he was walking that it wasn't going to be a very nice encounter, so I turned my camera back on. And he was quite, oh, we've told you not to land here, we've had to get the children in 20 minutes early for lunch because of you. And the flight was only about 4 minutes, 3 or 4 minutes, because it was literally a sledge ride down to the top. So they basically created a hysteria where they'd seen me setting up on the hill.
Can you see where you set
half
off
a
from the
mile
school?
away, yeah.
The school. Okay.
And they got the school children in, which I think is absolutely ridiculous, because if those children ever went to like Chamonix in France or into Ordonnaise, there's hundreds of gliders up in the air. I've just come back from Turkey in Ordonnaise, where we land on a little tiny beach full of tourists, and it's just like, it's not a problem, but like they've created like a hysteria and a hatred towards free flying, which is my passion. It's like it's something that I live for. I mean, my body's full of scars from flying. It's like,
so
you know, I think it's like, it's so,
if
like
that's
an opportunity that the school could have taught them acceptance towards myself.
If that's the reaction you're going to get from staff at the school, is it reasonable to think, could you do it elsewhere? If you're going to, if you're going to
Rocky's like my little spot because it's at the back of where I live.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, I've flown there hundreds of times,
Yeah.
to the point where I've got my own little indentation in the grass and a little runway strip where I've done it so many times.
I think,
But what I can do is not go over towards the hill fort, which would lead to the point where I would have to make a safe landing on the football pitch. This morning I had a fantastic flight on there, and I landed way like in between Walkerburn and Innerleithen on the cow field, and it was fine, you know, 'cause and I will in the future make a concerted effort not to land in the school and cause trouble. But I've since found out that.
can I just come back on that, Christy?
Yeah,
Can I
sure,
just,
yeah,
sorry.
sure.
So the member of staff's walking towards you, and you think there's going to be an altercation here because he's not happy. I'm just thinking, how do we avoid that scenario? If that
Not
makes
to land on the football pitch when the school's on.
and we admit that scenario happening at all. Nobody's saying whatsoever, that's your passion. Well, we've all got our own passions. Nobody, I'm certainly going to sit here and tell you to stop your passion, and I'm just trying to mitigate that engagement from a negative perspective at and around the school. Is that fair?
It's such a beautiful hobby, and it's like, it's so Scottish, so Scotland, outdoors, flying in the air.
Yeah.
It's something that should be encouraged and it should be embraced in the town.
I get that.
I find it so sad that it's
I
turned
think
into...
it's a byproduct of other things,
They-
Christina.
Yeah,
So that's and so we're trying to just say, don't
It's
put yourself in that situation
being put
where there's going to be an
onto,
escalation.
that Red Rose page, I've since found out that some of the children have been found with my photos on their phones, which is like,
I've no knowledge of that.
I've got absolutely no control about it, but like, it's like when I went to Pride in Edinburgh, I wore like my fishnets and stuff, and I took some kind of photos that were like borderline kind of pornography, maybe, just like showing my knickers and just like my bum and stuff, and like, Yeah, and I think
This document I made reference to, which is called the Antisocial Behaviour Audit Trail, and because it's information that's been shared with the council that is pertinent to you, you're duty bound to get a copy of that.
yeah.
So these are all the incidents that have been reported to me by police that's involved yourself
Okay.
as an alleged party, but also as a victim. So
Yeah.
it's important that you understand we are impartial in this process with regards to if you come to us with a complaint or go to SPHA
Yeah.
or the police, there's always two sides to the story, and we will absolutely endeavour to get both sides of the story.
Thank you.
Now, and I'll give you this now, we can go any other female in this area, I would be having a conversation with that individual. It's just that it's how that's perceived by the community, and that's the undue attention that we don't want you to be getting. Does that make sense?
I know, but it's like I'm like some kind of god or something. It's like, I don't know, my vibration is just so high that it's like it just shines.
Do you think
so-
some of that, Christina, do you think some of that comes from what you post and how you post it? So there's obviously the YouTube stuff that goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
and
proud of
people
my
are seeing
YouTube
that. And
channel.
I'm not saying you shouldn't be proud of it, but what I'm saying is some of the content on there is maybe exacerbating some of the situations that are probably in that audit trail,
Yeah.
and people are then looking for you, you know, in terms of, instead of just like walking down the street and not ignoring you, but, you know, just saying, there's Christina walking down the road. There's undue attention towards you because there's maybe a bit of kind of fueling of the attention on yourself, by yourself. Is that fair to say? Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. And my ex-partner Sabrina kind of encountered the same kind of situations with like border buses being vile to her, and she had like an altercation with like one of the drivers where she took her top off and stuff, and we've both been banned on the buses.
Yeah.
I got banned for a photo that I took about 3 years ago in my fishnets, and I wasn't exposing anything, but it was just like taken at the back of my legs, and you could just about see my knickers, and it was like I took the picture myself on the top deck of the bus, and Sharon Morrison, the manager of the buses, I had an assault with a driver, and I got compensation through the courts. And the same weekend that I got the compensation, she blanket banned me off the network, basically.
So what I'm kind of trying to say as well is, do you think some of the actions that you're taking, for example, the photographs and stuff that you post online, do you feel, and this is a question, do you feel that you're wanting that attention coming towards you? And I don't mean all the negative attention, I just mean attention generally. Is that what some of it is about? And it's a question, it's not a statement.
I kind of sacrifice quite a lot for my body. I'm 52, and I've found a way with nutrition to kind of like live a really healthy lifestyle, but it goes against what the government recommend, kind of thing. So it's kind of like me demonstrating my body.
Okay.
And like,
but what I would say in that, some of the content of what you're saying isn't about nutrition. Is it? You know, for example, I've seen a video where you're talking about taking controlled drugs.
Yeah.
And
they're
you
kind
know,
of like just like.
do you know what I mean? So I'm saying, yeah, okay, you
antagonistic.
can have that view about you're trying to educate people about nutrition and the body and stuff like that, but then there's other.
You know, when
instances
somebody
where that's
treats you
completely
like
not
absolute
what's happening.
crap, when somebody treats you like shit, you usually act like shit.
Okay.
I try to remember the Kipling poem when you're surrounded with hate and lies, don't give in to that and remain firm in yourself. And I try so hard, but I've got like a personality disorder, a UPD, and it kind of flares up and comes out in antagonistic situations.
Okay.
And like social media can like fuel certain types of behaviours when you start to get attention. Like my YouTube channel, for instance, has got like 4 times the amount of views that it usually gets over the last sort of few months, which kind of
And I'm not surprised at that. I'm genuinely not surprised at that, because you know what you're putting on and the amount that you're putting on, and it has raised interest. There is no doubt about it within the community.
Yeah, and I don't want to be like some attention seeker person. That I want to like have the next sort of 10 years of my life peaceful and.
Okay. So how do you do that then? What steps can you take to go towards that peaceful state?
Just to try to tell people that I'm not the person that they think I am,
and genuinely, it's a question. Do you think you're going about that the right way at the moment? Do you think what you're doing at the moment is the right way to do that?
No.
Okay.
And
so
it's like what happened to Sabrina in Hoyk and everything deeply saddened me, and it seems that there's like a type of attitude in the borders that's kind of a little bit old school. Is that fair enough to say?
Well, there can be, yeah, absolutely. And there's others that are completely welcoming and completely open to everybody.
Yeah.
I think we're here to discuss what's been brought to our attention, and as I've said, as a collective, to if you leave this room and you feel positive about how you will move forward without getting that attention, then we've achieved something, and that makes your life a whole lot better in my estimation, in our estimation.
Yeah.
But when the incidents that are in here pertinent to the thing on the high street, that attracts attention, and that's what Graham's trying to say. If we can work through how we avoid that, or how you avoid that, then we don't have to be having this conversation again. Does that make sense?
I've taken myself off Facebook, but there was about like 90 comments on the post, and like a guy in the town was caught with child pornography on his phone, and there's like about 2 comments, and then the comment going, "Oh, he's a lovely lad, you've ruined his life," and like everybody like kind of like conveniently like kind of forgets that, and all the attention goes straight onto me, and I find that incredulous in a kind of way. A bit.
Do you feel there's almost, you feel like you have to push back against that?
Yeah.
You do?
And kind of like riding a wave kind of thing of hysteria. And I did a video about the burning of the effigy of like the devil at the end of the games week, which when I first moved into the town it didn't sit very well with me, because I know about the witch trials and how they persecuted
Do you remember the language that you used in that video?
Yeah, I said this area has killed more women than any...
But do you remember the language, the
specific
specific
word?
word?
Degenerates.
No, you called them retards. That's the word that you used. So do you see how that then doesn't help the situation? You know, in terms of...
Yeah, it's kind of like that was because of the post on Facebook about me, and
I get it's you coming back at them and stuff like that. But you know, do you see how you've got choices to make as well in terms of what you say and what you do?
Yeah, I understand.
And there's going to be for every action, there's going to be a reaction.
And one of these reactions is us sitting here right now,
like,
Christina.
I don't know. I'm kind of glad. Like when I first moved into the village, I posted like some of my drone work of Lee Penn, and it was beautiful. And all of a sudden, I was banned off the page. And it's like, okay, you know, there's a whole contingency of people that don't like my lifestyle for just who I am, hate me for the fact that I've transitioned kind of late in my life. And I know I look like a man still. I can't help that, but I try to be as genuine and as truthful to myself as I can, and it's like, yeah, and to hear that people are writing to Chalmers, my gender clinic, to tell them not to give me like hormones in my operation and stuff anymore. I find that so sad, and there's people that they
and I'm pretty sure they get that a lot, and I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that they'll completely discount it, Christina. That they're not going to take into consideration people just emailing in or writing into a clinic when it's your medical.
It just seems since COVID that everybody's got so like upset, and like their vibration has gotten so low, kind of thing.
This is your copy, Christina, of the information that has been shared with me, and you're duty bound to have that. It's information that's predominantly been shared with us by police. But as I've said, also in that are reports by yourself to police of harassment you've received.
Yeah.
And as I said earlier in the meeting, we are here as much to hear your side of things, as are the police. When you're getting threatened, or there's people banging at your door or throwing eggs at, or whatever, you've got all the rights in the world like anybody else does for your
it's
for
got
you
to
to
the
be heard.
point where I feel like I need to take pepper spray or like a knife
We don't.
with me when I'm
No,
going out.
and that's absolutely not the course of action that we want to see or hear for sure. Do you want to go through that document, or would you?
I just noticed it documents the man that came to my door about the post from People's High School. I innocently shared a post that People's High School did about diabetes, and it was a picture of some of the pupils that had made some cakes for the Diabetes Foundation, and I thought it didn't sit kind of right with me, so I just shared the post onto my profile, and I put if you want to sort of cure type 2 diabetes, stop carbohydrates and sugars in your diet and just metabolically kind of turn your body into burning ketones instead. And then I got like a comment from someone called Carol Nash telling me that I was a creep and to take the post off, take my daughter off your page, you creep. Then someone put she thinks they're a doctor. I thought, okay, and I just blocked the people, and I was flying on rocket, I landed, and my Ring doorbell camera went off, and it was this man at my door, and when I arrived there, he was the husband of this Carol Nash, who you could tell he didn't really want to be there, but he was just like, oh, can you take my daughter off your page, please? I don't want my daughter to having anything to do with you. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'd already taken the post off, but I just thought it was a little bit like presumptive and rude. That was such an epic flight. I took off and I just went up vertical. And I got to do some really good piloting where I had to control the wing above my head and keep it stable. Like when the glider comes back, kind of let go of the brakes, and when it pitches forward, bring the brakes down. And yeah, I think I did really well. Well, you're making milk for Graham's. Beautiful Scottish, organic, grass-fed milk and cream. Thank you for everything that you do for us. Thank you for being an integral part of the ecosystem. I'm sorry that people like Bill Gates are trying to get rid of you, but people like myself, I'll fight tooth and nail for you.
Are you feeling that's helping in that engagement?
Just for watching the video, and as always, I'll see you on the next one. Ta-ra! Mwah! They treated me horrible. They put me in a cage for 9 hours, took me to Hoyk. And originally they arrested me for breach of the peace. Then halfway down the road, the sergeant changed it to reckless culpable conduct and abusive behaviour. And so I got the video of speaking to the teacher. There's no way was I abusive towards them. So they dropped that, and I've got to go to court on Monday to face the allegations, to which my solicitor has basically said they're a joke.
Is that the school playground scenario?
Conduct,
yeah.
So I think it's another injustice towards myself.
And you're happy you will be appropriately defended and represented.
My solicitor, they put bail conditions where I couldn't operate an aircraft or any paragliding equipment or a drone or anything. So they basically grounded me. My solicitor went to court and got all the bail restrictions removed straight away. And he basically says, yeah, it's just a joke.
And like we said at the outset, that's what we're trying to avoid here moving forward, that engagement with police. police,
But
that 9 hours in the cell, that court appearance, etc.
yeah, it was the most horrendous experience. I've never been in the Scottish justice system before, and to be fingerprinted and have my photo
Yeah.
taken, treated
Yeah.
like a criminal, it was horrible for just doing something that's my passion.
Yeah.
You know, I do regret that I did at the school at that time, and I didn't want to cause any trouble. And like, you know, there's people in the town, they come up to me and go, "Oh, are you Christina Mason? Oh yeah, you're that one that's paragliding into the school naked." I'm like, what?
And that's
But that's just
the hysteria of it.
that small communities.
It's just making things up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, but that unfortunately is a community that we live in. But that isn't going to happen again, because we've discussed that, and you know,
I mean, the school should invest in a big green fence around the football pitch and stop all the people
and
letting their
that's
dogs
not going to happen.
mess
Yeah,
in the pitch.
yeah,
And,
absolutely.
but like the actual school itself is fenced off. It's like a few years ago when I was with Fiona in Walkerburn, I witnessed a terrible paragliding accident where a man took off on the hill fort and basically stalled the glider over the school and crashed into the school, and it was the most horrific thing. I remember running down off the hill. I was the one that phoned the ambulance and the police, and his arm was twisted around, his bone was sticking out, he fractured his spine, he was in and out of consciousness, and it was awful. It brought back memories of when I broke my back in Spain, and like, yeah, and he actually landed in the school, and you know, and for them to kind of like insinuate that I'm putting people at danger in the same kind of way,
Yeah.
I find it.
I don't think they were insinuating you're putting people at danger. I think it was more about they obviously have to think about the protection of the children within their care at that particular time. So and you understand that they're in charge of those children during school hours, so they have a duty of care to them and make sure that they're not going to put any risk. And they risk assess everything, and obviously,
Yeah, I understand.
you know, if the kids are out playing in the field and you're having an emergency landing, you know, you would feel, I'm sure, terrible if you landed on top of a few kids and stuff like that and injured them. So that's what they're trying to avoid, is they're trying to avoid that situation where somebody's put at risk, effectively. And it's probably more it's not a physical risk, as in like you landing and hitting a kid, you know, playing.
Going forward, I think, you know, I will, if the school is on at the time, stay well away.
Yeah,
from
yeah,
the
and that's it. You've completely removed the risk then, to yourself and to the
down
the
towards
school.
Walkerburn.
Yeah,
Sort
exactly.
of land down
That's
there, like
Yeah.
away from everybody. But I just find if then the school need to kind of like release a little bit of this hysteria and don't let these children think that paragliding is something that's
I don't think they are.
I'm sure they're not.
In fact, I know they're not. They're
Yeah.
not. Christina, you don't need to worry about that. Don't
And
worry
also
about that.
teach acceptance about people like myself. You know.
Well, that's a wider conversation round about curriculums and stuff like that, which we're not going to solve here today. That's their kind of
Do you
domain.
have anything from an SPH
So,
perspective?
just in terms of, obviously, you know, we're your landlord, and it's the impact on you and round about our tenancy that we're trying to avoid any kind of risks round about that. You know, so it's making sure that you're safe and the people that are your neighbours are safe as well. Now, I know there's obviously issues, you know, with a particular neighbour, which we're trying to obviously work through in terms of that and getting a resolution there, which we've made good grounds in terms of resolving a few of the issues round about there.
Although they're still making comments towards me.
Yeah, and likewise, there's counter allegations about, you know, stuff which we'll discuss at another meeting, Christina. The one thing, I mean, obviously our tenancies need to be managed, obviously by us. And one of the contents of that video that I talked about in the controlled drugs, you're talking about setting up brothels and taking crack cocaine and cannabis in that. And I know that it was probably throwaway remarks, but you've got to understand our position as a landlord. That is a breach of tenancy, absolutely. You know, in terms of if you did do that. So I'm just saying, be mindful of what you're saying in those videos.
I don't take crack cocaine.
I know, but yourself and Sabrina are in that video saying that's what you're going to do.
I know.
Yeah, and I get that it's probably just remarks, but you've got to also understand our perspective as well. And if somebody comes to us and say, why are you allowing those people in that property to take controlled drugs and potentially use it as for immoral purposes as
I
well.
love my flat. I keep
No.
it. It's a beautiful space. It's a place where I love to be. It's such a beautiful little part of Inner Leithen, and to think that that I'm being antisocial and doing all this kind of stuff, it isn't true at all. It's like if people got to know the real me, they'd see a very different side of things.
The thing from us is basically a neighbour dispute more than wider antisocial behaviour. So
I think
that's what
that
for us to
particular neighbour
manage that.
created a situation, then kind of blamed me for the reaction. It was
Okay.
like
But
they
we'll work
never
through that.
particularly liked me adopting that bit of the garden, and when she didn't talk to me civilly about the issue which she suggested that I'd thrown rubbish over her garden. I woke up one morning and there was all bits of metalwork and all kind of rubbish where she'd got a load of stuff from the back of the shed and thrown it into my garden. I think because I piled up some grass cuttings at the side in the corner, some of them got blown over to the back of her shed or something.
Yeah.
But like she was screaming and shouting at me and calling me all kinds of stuff, and I just had enough, and I just told her to go and fuck off.
Yeah, and that's
And like,
where we're looking for
which
not
kind of-
to get the reaction.
then her husband comes home from work, doesn't say a word to me, soaks me with the hose pipe. Then
And the
runs
police
off
were
into the
involved in
house.
that, and I'm
It's
pretty
so
sure that'll be
childish.
in one of
It's
the
childish.
incidents.
And then I get blamed for my reaction for something that she created, throwing a load of rubbish into my garden, and like, and now like they're shouting, oh look, the beast's out in the garden, let's get the hose pipe out and clear the shit out the fence. Oh look, that weirdo, and the other day they threw a big a bowl, some rubble into my garden whilst I was lying, making it to the point where I can't enjoy
The space.
sunbathing into the garden.
So you need to report that, Christina.
Yeah,
you
that's
need
why I carry my camera.
Yeah, exactly. And if you've got any evidence which is contained in the video, share that with myself so we can deal with that, okay? And if appropriate, share it with the police as well if it goes beyond the realms of...
They've got a camera up, but they haven't put the camera onto their bit of the garden. It's like at the bottom of my...
I've seen the camera,
It's kind
and
of
it covers the
like
garden.
they can see when I leave.
It does cover a little bit into there, but they've got the appropriate signage up and it's not breaching any data protection regulations, okay? So I'm quite happy with that camera is sighted and what it's there for, okay?
Yeah.
Sean, have you anything that you would like to add? Or?
No, it was just in relation to the school, Christina. I think having worked in a school setting previously myself, I know that it's nothing pertinent to you landing in the school. It would be the same if it was Cammy Scott landing in the school.
The only thing is that I've been doing it for like 3 years, summers, and it was never an issue until some of the children were found with my photos, and it seems like it's a personal thing about myself, and the hysteria towards it being, oh yeah, you're interfering with children. I don't want anything to do with the school. It's like the only reason why I land there is because it's easier to get home.
I'm surprised that they had let that go for 3 years, to be honest. I think,
and
because
that
it's a
particular
school
video,
and
which
safety
I'd
is
sort of taken private,
paramount.
the couple of the teachers, they were kind of like so curious about it, and it was like it was never an issue, and all of a sudden it becomes a massive issue just because people don't particularly like my lifestyle and what I post and stuff.
I think it's good that you identified the fact that actually staying away from the school is the best thing.
Yeah. I mean, there's people been making up on that Red Rose page saying all kinds of stuff, like saying that I've been hanging around the school in my fishnets and like making insinuations. I dropped my son off at school one morning and I saw him in his fishnets with his boobs tube on, and like I've never been. He just took what I'd wore at Pride in Edinburgh and then placed it to me landing at the school one frosty morning.
Made up a scenario essentially.
Yeah, just to basically be popular, I suppose.
I think we all have opinions on the whole Red Rose thing, and it's a much wider conversation.
Yeah, it's a guy that owns the page. He lives down south and he makes quite a lot of money, I think, from the page, and he'll post anything which is kind of current at the time. It's quite sad, really. But there are actually people who have been caught with child pornography on their phones and stuff like that, and actually been charged through the court system. And it just seems like those people, because they're okay in the community, they don't. It's people. Oh yeah, he's okay, you know. But for me, I mean, I recently had my phone taken off me and all of my devices checked when Sabrina made up allegations about me. You know, I'm basically chemically castrated. I've been on decapeptyl injections for like 4 years. You know, it's kind of what they should give to actual paedophiles that are caught with child pornography. They should chemically castrate them.
Yeah, and that's another conversation,
You know?
Christina. Listen, I personally think this has been a very good meeting.
Yeah.
Constructive.
I'm sorry, I was a bit.
It's fine.
When I come in.
No, it's fine. I get that. I get you. We're here as much to talk through the concerns we have, and as well as to support you,
Yeah.
like we do anybody. So, do you have any questions?
No, I won't
For
put
me-
this onto YouTube or anything. I'll just use it for my own. If like Sabrina wants to listen to it or something, I'll let her listen to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
And
all.
you're obviously still in contact with Sabrina quite regularly.
Yeah, we're kind of good friends again, and yeah, Sabrina's working through her issues in Edinburgh and that, and I kind of
Probably a good idea that she got out of Hoyk, because again, it's a fishbowl, isn't it?
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Any questions at all, Christina, for me or any of us? I think a big learning point for you as well
I
is
don't know. I just feel
Christina,
like it's everybody
police
else
are-
being
the police
antisocial
are there to
to me.
police are there to help you as well. If
Yeah.
you're getting subjected to behaviour,
It just feels like the sergeant at the people's hates me now. They've got it in for me.
we can't comment on that. Don't know who that is, but as long as you know that the system is as much to support you as it is anybody else, and don't forget that.
Yeah, thanks.
All right.
Okay, no,
No.
good.